In today's video, I am going to be breaking down what a 4-out, 1-in basketball offense really is and some of the different ways that you can use it and a couple of plays that I like to use myself inside this offense. Now, if you really want to use a simple offense, make sure to go check out my complete guide to the 5-out because you can use some 4-out plays with the 5-out, and I will explain that in this video. But you can also check out my Unbeatable Basketball Zone Defense book that doubles the low post and traps the corners. So let's get down. Let's check out what a 4-out offense is and some plays that you can run in it. Also, if you like this app, make sure to go check out the Playbook app that is down in the description below too. You can get a 10% off code. Okay, so I'm starting this in the 5-out just mainly because I like to start my 4-out with a 5-out. But let's say player 5 is going to be the one who is going to that high post. We would then have player 4 dribble over towards that left side, and player 3 goes down to the corner. This is the 4-out. Now, 4-out can be with player 5 in the high post or the low post. I personally like it when he's in the high post because it gives a lot of different options and I can use it against the zone if I really wanted to. However, you need to have an entry pass into player 5. That'll be player 1 passing to player 5 there. Next, the reason why you would want the ball in the high post is because it really does destroy a lot of teams. Now, let me give you a good explanation as to why. So in the 4-out, 1-in offense, the whole idea is to either get the ball into the low post and create passing angles, or get it into the high post and create passing angles as well. The reason why players or teams like the Denver Nuggets use an offense like this with Jokic in the high post is because he's a very good passer. What happens is, especially these players along the corners, they're going to be generally wide open, and also cutters from the wings can be wide open as well. So what generally happens is once this ball gets passed into the high post, you're going to have player 4 paying attention out here, player 3 is going to be paying attention out here, player 2 needs to or should drop down so that he can see both that man and his man, and then player 1 is going to be stuck. Obviously, he wants to defend his man, but in reality, what he should be doing, so player 3 is watching here, 4 is watching here, 2 is watching here, and then we have player 1 who needs to turn and watch this way. But what happens a lot of the time is player 1 will turn his complete body and look at player 5, which leaves player 1 wide open to be able to cut one way or the other. Personally, this would be the way to cut here, and that would allow him to be able to get that pass back to him, and this now collapses defenses, and if it doesn't, he's going to have a wide open layup. If it collapses the defense, then he's going to be able to kick that ball out to player 3 for that 3-point shot. But that's not all. Because player 4 needs to be paying attention to both his man and the ball, and what usually happens is he will start to cheat up thinking that player 5 is going to drive. If he's not paying attention to his man can cut back door. This can be a high to low post pass to player 4 who can then go for that layup. Or with older teams, this would be an alley-oop dunk. The same thing happens here. Player 3 may step up, not pay attention to his man. Player 3 cuts back door. Player 5 hits player 3 for the layup. There's options here. At this point, you're reading what the defense is giving you, and you are reacting to what they're doing. So if player 4 goes too high, you can cut back door. Things like that. Another option to my play that I run in the high post is after that entry pass is made to player 5, player 2 cuts. Now at this point, he needs to be smart. If player 2 is guarding that high post, player 2 needs to cut in behind player 2. If he's open, he can be hit. If player 4 comes down to guard that, skip pass out to player 4. Player 5 passes to player 4 for that open 3-point shot. Just by simply getting that ball into the high post, you can get a lot of easy baskets. This also works against a zone as well, because what happens against a zone is because now you have player 2 who's fronting that post, player 3 who's watching here, all these guys are watching over here. Just by getting that ball into the post, that draws player 5 up potentially. This can bring player 4 into the dunker spot, which is right about there. And then we can have a high to low post pass for a dunk or an easy layup. This works both against a man and a zone. Now instead, let's say we had player 5 in the low post. Now, this is actually a play that I run out of 5-out. I call it post. I'm running it with my high school team, and I may eventually run it with my U12 team if we become successful at running our plays perfectly. I have player 5 start with the ball, our post man, and he passes that ball over to player 1 and he cuts to the low post. Now we're in 4-out. Actually, we're in a triangle, technically speaking, because player 2 would move up, and then there's player 4, so there's a triangle everywhere on the court. What we would want is the ball to go down into the corner so we can get that easier entry pass into player 5, or we can hit him on the initial cut. At this point, we would have player 2 weak side cut down, and he may be wide open for that layup. Player 4 moves up, player 2 moves out. At this time, player 1 cuts, and he may be open. If this collapses the defense, we can kick it out. There's so many different options that we have with this play. If none of this is open, player 4 sprints all the way around, and we're going to have that quick exit pass out. Player 2 sprints, we're going to pass to player 2, player 1 moves up, player 5 fills out. Meanwhile, the defense is shifting now. We got to keep up with our guys, right? And now we can have player 2 pass to player 1, and same thing, back into that 4-out, 1-in. We now have a guard in the post, which is actually quite useful because now we've got big guys who are cutting down. And now if we hit these big guys and a guard goes to try to guard that, guess what? Player 4 is going through him or over top of him for that dunk or layup. Just by getting that ball into that low post, guess what? Now we've got these defenders who are going to be trying to angle their body so they can see both their men. To be able to do that, he's going to be generally behind the backboard or at the backboard. So if player 3 was just to cut towards that basket, this can collapse these guys. Player 4 moves down, skip pass out to player 4 for that 3. There's so many different options just by simply moving off ball in the 4-out. So what the 4-out offense is quite simply 4 guys outside of the perimeter, 1 guy in the paint, whether it be the high post or the low post. And you can create a lot of offense just by getting that ball into the post and then looking for cutters, because guess what? Defenders always make mistakes. They're always paying attention, at least somebody, to the ball, which means that that man, whoever they're guarding, is going to be wide open because he's going to cut off ball, he's going to lift, he's going to do something to be able to get open. If you've got guys who move extremely well off ball, then this offense is for you. But if you want to be able to have a great offense that leads into 4-out, make sure to go check out my complete guide to the 5-out. But also, if you want a good defense to be able to stop this because it traps the corners, make sure to go check out my Unbeatable Basketball Zone Defense book that is down in the description as well. And if you like this app, the link down there it's called the Playbook, and you can get 10% off. I hope that you've enjoyed. Hit that like button and subscribe.